My name is Sasha Stefan, some call me Nex. But here, in the world of the Transformers, they call me Mechatronus Maximus. I'm a multimedia artist who specializes in photography, videography, graphic arts, and design. I'm also a musician and songwriter, martial artist, and most importantly, a father. Here, I will be sharing with you my love and passion for the Transformers, along with our journey in collecting, while giving you my honest perspective and insight. This is Mechatronus Maximus Reviews. What up, fellow Cybertronians? It's Mechatronus Maximus here, bringing you our next review for Javatronia Reviews, and today I have Generations Series 1 Starscream. The original Classics mold came out in 2006, and I believe this one came out a few years later after Henkei and Universe, but this is basically the classic Starscream revamped into a modern toy. I never really had the G1 original toy Starscream, but I always wanted him because, of course, he's like one of the main characters in the TV series. He's always the antagonist for Megatron. Even though he's on the same side, he's always giving Megatron hell and always coming with plans of his own and trying to take over leadership of the Decepticons. Even though he did a few times, it only lasted a few seconds because he's always messing up and screwing up. But that's why we love Starscream, because no matter what, he never gives up. He looks a lot like his G1 likeness. He looks pretty freaking awesome. Honestly, I should probably get third-party add-ons normally, but for the most part, this is freaking awesome. But here, anyway, let me show you some size comparisons. Well, first, I'll just set you up with his buddies, his classic homies. They're pretty freaking awesome. I mean, just redeco'd in different colors, but same mold, but you definitely get a sense of a different personality for each one just based off the color schemes and palettes. Although, I'll have to say my favorite is Skyward, but I'll just display for you Starscream today since they're all pretty much the same. I'll do a separate review for the Conan since they're slightly different, slightly retooled, but these guys are essentially the same figure, just different colors. Here he is with the Mac Daddy himself, Megatron. Yeah, he looks pretty good. Pretty decent scale, in relation to the cartoon. Of course, scale, G1 scale, it's wonky, but this is pretty darn close in my imagination of how big Starscream would be to Megatron.
Megatron, is that you?
Of course, it's third-party Unique Toys Mania King, but they look really good together. Yeah, you get the idea. I mean, I really like the scale of this figure, but my main complaint, and this is where it really kills me, I really wish they'd come out with a new super-sized version of this, like a Voyager-sized version of this. This is where it kills me. Here we have Sunstreaker, and oh my gosh, really? A Lamborghini compared to an F-15 fighter jet. Really? How come? How come? That's so mean. He's so huge. But of course, this mold came out later after these guys. But these guys really set the trend. The Seekers really set the trend as far as the revamping of the classic G1 toys and figures and characters. So I'm not complaining too much. I'm really happy. And if you're like me, you could be like when you're a kid, just use imagination to pretend he's bigger, or be like me and use Photoshop and use magic to make him look bigger. But that's my only gripe. I really have to recall my kid jutsus and remember, pretend that he's bigger. But other than that, the scale's okay. They're both deluxes, so he's just a really tall deluxe, though. Anyway, let's take a closer look. He looks pretty awesome. He looks pretty much like he did in the G1 cartoon, of course, toy-wide version, but it's pretty spot on. Actually, the oversized null rays, they don't kill me too much. I mean, like I said, I should probably buy the third party just for options, but as you can see, his color palette is pretty close to the G1 cartoon. I don't have reference pictures on me right now, but he looks pretty darn close. I really like the details of the molding, especially in the face. Let me see if I could get a close-up of his face for you. Yeah, I mean, he looks pretty Starscreamy. His head's a little small, but, considering how small he actually is, I think they really did a good job of capturing the essence of Starscream. I really like his eyes. This version, he has a darker gray face, almost as black as his helmet, but he looks freaking cool. And as you can see, he's got his faction symbols back there upside down like Starscream's is. I have to say, though, the one thing I don't like about this mold are the feet fins. They kind of are really finicky. They're kind of tough to stand up. Officially, they're supposed to be flat like this, but he seems to fall back, so I actually rotate these down a little slightly to be kind of like a heel. just to help stabilize him just a little bit. But even still, even with that, he's still kind of finicky to stand up. As far as articulation goes, he is hindered by this back cone a little bit. But other than that, his head can turn pretty decently. Not quite 180 degrees, but good enough to look past his shoulder pylons, so it's not like you can look that far anyway. Without his null rays, he's got full 360, but again, his wings kind of get in his way. He's got full outward movement, so that's pretty awesome. They go forward and back, and he's bent at the elbow about 90 degrees. Not quite, but you know, pretty close. And his wrist could go in and out, but mainly due to transformation. But as far as his legs, could go forward about that far. Back gets hindered by his butt kibble. Could bend it at the knee, close to 90 degrees. And no real foot movement except for a little tilt here due to transformation. But as far as posability, you don't really see Seekers getting into too many crazy dynamic poses anyway, but you know, let's see. I could put him in one anyway. As you can see, he poses pretty decently. You know, you can at least get that classic Starscream, null ray, I'll shut you down kind of pose. But you do kind of have to move some of his parts around, like move his wing back, or his whole torso, move his wing back to make room for that null ray right there. But other than that, he's really posable. What I also like is that he's got these kind of like the Gundam shoulder pivot that you go in and out. So that opens up a lot of possibilities just for more natural looks as far as posing and arm movement. Or you just knock off this null ray. You know, that's the best part about his arms moving that way. Like if he's just shooting straight forward, you gotta move his wing back a little bit. But if you bring it in, you can move his shoulder in a little bit more. It gives you a little bit more room. Other than that, yeah, he's a pretty good mold. I wonder what the third-party null rays would be like. If any of you guys own those third-party null rays, let me know how awesome they are. Convince me to get them, because I need an excuse to waste more money. But anyway, let's get to transformation.
Starscream's transformation is the epitome of simple and satisfying engineering. There's nothing about this transformation that is convoluted or confusing. In fact, he's the perfect mold to attempt a first-time transformation without instructions, and his overall plastic quality allows for moderate mistakes without damage to the figure. All in all, this classics mold is a perfect combination of classic mixed with modern, both in aesthetics and design.
Alright guys, we got Starscream here in his alt mode, aka F-15 Strike Eagle. I think it's Strike Eagle, maybe not, I don't know. It's an Eagle, F-15 Eagle, either way. But I did read that on TF Wiki cheat codes that he has an F-14 nose cone, you know, so that's the only major difference. And I guess it does look like F-14 now, I really look at it. But yeah, F-15 was always one of my most favorite jets, fighter jets growing up, but along with F-14, because it reminds me of the Valkyrie. So sweet. Combine them both, you get an awesome Starscream. But yeah, he looks pretty awesome, don't you think? Like, he looks like a fighter jet, like from the top anyway. Transformers are notorious for looking pretty decent from top, and of course on bottom, you got like the square kibble or the square fuselage. But you know, whatever. He's going to be raining down death on you, so you won't be paying attention to his bottom kibble anyway. But you know, his null rays are oversized, but they look pretty good for look like freaking nuclear warheads of some sort or something. But anyway, like, the only thing I don't like is that gap, that huge gap. You see that thing? It's a huge gap, but honestly, I've used that for many posing for, you know, for pictures and stuff. It's good for that. But other than that, there's a major gappage going on there. But it's not too bad because you're not looking at that anyway. From the top, you know, his Decepticon symbols are oriented the classic Starscream way, which is usually opposite than the rest of the Seekers. You can see on mine, the nose is it's kind of like a rubber nose cone. The plastic's pretty good on it. It's pretty solid. You can tell that over time it might start getting loose around the joints just from movement. But if you're careful, you won't get that plastic shaving like you usually do. But it looks really good. I really think this jet mode looks freaking awesome. It looks just like Starscream. I mean, really indicative of a Seeker. Here you can see he's got on his chest. You can see his chest intakes, turbines, become his landing gears. I've been contemplating painting them to look more like tires or just more black, but I don't know. I don't want to mess with it because I only have one version of this. Maybe if I had a backup, I'd do it. But so those become his landing gears along with these back ones. So it's not a traditional jet landing gear, but you know, there's enough clearance. He looks pretty cool from his profile. But yeah, that's him in his jet mode. And in conclusion, I really like this mold, and I really like this version of Starscream. Like I said earlier, I really do wish they'd come out with a sized up version of him, you know, maybe Voyager, or at least a small Voyager or larger deluxe version of him. But other than that, like, I really like the details and the color palette. The quality of the figure is pretty spot on. It's pretty tough. Like, he's an old figure, and I got him used, but he's in really good condition. Even compared to my other Seekers, same mold, he's really awesome. I really highly recommend this, especially if you're into army building, because there's like a buttload of these guys, you know, not all official, but shoot, like on Cybertron, how many freaking Seekers were there? So, you know, you've got the Rainmakers, which we have. I'll share some pictures, but really, like, if you're into army building for your G1 Season 1, even Season 2 Decepticons, this is the mold to go to, and Starscream is a must-have, because he's the leader of the Seeker Armada, you know what I mean, like Sky Commander Elite. But anyway, yeah, thanks for hanging out with me, guys, and I'll have to check you guys later and share some more. But this is Mechatronus Maximus signing out.
Rolling for record.
Roll for record. Now the camera is rolling. Alright, let's see. How's my hair? Look good? Okay, ready.